Hello and welcome to Cynical Nerds Does Arena Runs. I am Martin Dustus Walters, and with me today I have Kieran and I have Al. Say hello.
Hello.
Hey, you alright, guys?
That's it. Do everything that I bid you to do. We are going to do the arena run that we do on the show, and the first three picks on this are the picks that we're going to talk about on the show this week. But in case you wanted to see the rest of it, then you can with this draft that we're going to do now.
Well, I know I certainly do, Martin.
Well, as a little bit of background, Al has done 1.5 arenas ever, so bit of a pro. Kieran hasn't done a lot of arena, but he has had a 12-win arena run. I've done quite a bit, but nowhere near as much as I do on Constructed. I have had 12, 11 wins, and I probably average around 7. But it's not my preferred choice. But we'll see how it goes. So what do you guys... I'll let Al pick. Al can pick, since it's going to be his 2.5 time ever.
Mage. It's got to be, hasn't it? Well, right. No, it doesn't have to be. Rogue's pretty powerful, I hear.
We don't want to do the...
I think I'm most familiar with the mage as well. I don't like the mage.
Well, we don't want to do the same one.
Cool.
We don't want to do the same one every week, but since it's the first week, we can do the best one. Okay, so question adventure.
Does that mean at some point you're going to have to do warrior?
Yeah, it does mean at some point we have to do warrior. Well, we could just keep not picking it. Hearthstone could be nice. So I think this is quite easy. So what do you think, Al?
Quest and adventurer.
Yeah.
Alarma bot's pretty gash.
I don't think we have to dwell on this. I don't think they'll dwell on it in the show either. So here we go, Kieran. What do you think on these ones? Walk on to Attendee, Arcane Intellect.
It's nice to have a 1-drop, but it's not the greatest 1-drop in the world. Would just deal with most early things. Arcane Intellect's nice for a bit of draw, free spell. War Golem, it's no Doctor Boom.
No, I mean the thing is that if I wanted a 1-drop, I want a 1-drop that does something else, like Abusive Sergeant or something like that, to like buff something else so you trade better. I don't really want just 2/1 taunt that can be pinged off by half the classes.
Yeah,
I think
I talked to you about this before, Martin. I was saying, like, War Golem, I know it's not that great a card for the stats, but still, it's still a 7/7 body.
But you have this early on, like, if you can, there's only so many 7-drops you can take. There's only so many big things you can take, and War Golem isn't the best of them. You could have the Max Spurs on tank, where it has a Divine Shield as well, and you might pick that up. This is only the second pick. For me, I'd much rather pick up the draw 2 cards, because that's just a good card, like draw some cards. And we might not see that again. We're going to see another 6/7 drop that is good at some point in this, but we might not see Arcane Intellect, which is a card on its own.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're getting at. Yeah.
So, Sorcerer's Apprentice, Silent Night, and Dragon's Breath. Al?
I'd say it's probably between Sorcerer's Apprentice and Dragon's Breath. Sorcerer's Apprentice is a pretty good 2-drop. It's a 3/2 with an upside, but Dragon's Breath is a pretty decent removal, especially if you can get it with the discount on it. So I would say it's a toss-up between those two. I'd probably go with the Sorcerer's Apprentice.
I kind of disagree about Dragon's Breath. I think Dragon's Breath is gash in most situations. It's a bit too overpriced for what it is. You don't really get the discount on it. Silent Knight's a really nice card though, because you'll think Stealth Divine Shield, you play it, turn 3, yeah, it's only a 2/2, so it's not the greatest 3-drop stats-wise, but it's nearly guaranteed to survive to the next. Actually, probably is guaranteed to survive to the next, because it can't be Flame Cannoned, because it would just hit the Divine Shield.
You can't ping off the Divine Shield.
Yeah.
It's 3 mana for a 2/2. Like, you're going to play it and it's not going to trade it into anything, is it?
It's not the best off the top.
No, it's not. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, because I haven't really done any arenas since TGT, so I haven't played with this card in arena, and it may be very good, or at least decent. I mean, I think that I'm somewhere in between both of you on Dragon's Breath, because one of you is saying, it is pretty good, and one of you is saying it's gash. I think 4 damage is fairly reasonable, because most of the 4-drops that you get will have only 4 health. And you should have some stuff on the board that you can kind of trade in to make it maybe, say, average 3.5 mana. So 3.5 mana for 4 damage isn't awful. But I would take the Sorcerer's Apprentice, because 2-drops are the way to go, and it has a lot of upside with what we're probably going to end up with in our deck.
I think Sorcerer's Apprentice is probably the choice. Yeah, because I think ours between Sorcerer's Apprentice and Dragon's Breath. I'm between Sorcerer's Apprentice and Silent Night, so Sorcerer's Apprentice kind of wins.
So here, Kieran, what do you think about these three, Ice Bear and Stable Ghoul Micro Machine?
Oh, they're all a bit.
Oh,
mediocre.
no.
I love Micro Machine. I've when I started out and had no cards whatsoever, I think one of the first packs I opened had a Micro Machine, and I had I had a Mech Rogue, and Micro Machine just went off. Like there's so many times where just if you can't deal with it, it's just so much fun. But so
we're not going for fun, Kieran. All right, we're going for wins. All right.
Yeah, but Micro Machine.
No, Kieran. As I explain on the podcast all the time, wins equal fun. So it's like I have fun when I'm winning.
So, but Micro Machine again, it's just one of those things. It forces the opponent to deal with it really quickly. Like they have to kind of go into panic mode. They have to trade something, and they really have to focus it. Unstable Ghoul, not really useful. I mean, it makes an appearance in Patron, or did when that was a deck for a reason.
But yeah, it's not.
Otherwise, and Ice Barrier is 8 health.
Not what the arena's all about ball control, and like 8 health doesn't help.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
Micro Machine,
I would say
me.
Micro Machine. I would go for. I don't think either of the other two options is that great. I don't think Micro Machine's that great either. Like 2 health is not hard
well,
to
this
deal
is
with.
where you're wrong, though, Al.
But yeah, it can trade.
Micro Machine is okay. Fantastic would be the wrong word, but I would have looked at this pack. I would have grabbed Micro Machine, windmill slammed it onto the table, and gone for the next pick, because Micro Machine, like Kieran says, is a 2 mana. Essentially, I'm 2 mana 2/2, because when it comes to their turn, it'll have already gone into a 2/2, which is fine. And the upside from there is phenomenal. If they don't have a removal spell, because they don't always have a removal spell, like the standard is it's a normal 2-drop. The upside is you have a load of taunts up, they can't deal with it, and this just starts winning you the game really, really quickly. Like you can't really go wrong with it. It won't ever be bad. And the upside is it can suddenly be chunking them for like 6, 7, 8 health every turn if they don't draw something that can deal with it. And if they only have one thing on board after they've got through their taunts and it's a Boulder Fist Ogre, then they're trading their Boulder Fist Ogre for my 2-drop. So take that.
Yeah.
So we've got
Stranglethorn Tiger every day of the week.
Yeah, I think so. Ice Barrier, we've already talked about how we don't want to just gain 8 health for 3 mana, really. And, like, 2-drops are fine, but Stranglethorn Tiger is really good. Like,
I would say that. What do you think of that 2-drop though? In another situation, like, is that a good 2-drop? Like vanilla, just 2.
Well, here's the thing: that if where we are on pick 5 in 30 cards, like we should just take whatever the best card is, and having a 5/5 for 5 that will guaranteed almost to be there the next turn is the strongest pick. If we were on our, I don't know, 25th pick and we had 2/2-drops, then I'm taking Puddle Stomper every day of the week.
Yeah. You got to think out. Like we've got Sorcerer's Apprentice in there, which is a 3/2 that makes our spells cost less than 1. Generally, it's a fairly mediocre card.
Okay, so here we've got.
So this is quite an interesting one for me because the North Sea Kraken quite good late game with the 9/7 for damage. But the Silverhand Knight is really good value of the 6/6 worth of stats for 5 mana over 2 bodies. Is kind of like I quite like it.
Silverhand Knight is or has been since vanilla considered a good arena card. Like 2 bodies pushing out 6/6 for 5 mana is very good. What do you think, Kieran?
I agree with that. I think North Sea Kraken's one of those cards where it can clog up your hand, but if you pull it out off the top in an arena run, normally that does happen in arena runs. It goes a bit late. You do normally end up a bit low on cards. It can be such a swing. Remove something from his board, most likely with dealing 4 damage, and then such a massive body. Lack of BGH as well in arena. But for what we've got so far, I'm not sure I like too many 9-drops. I'd probably prefer the Silverhand Knight.
See, I have the final swing say in this, and I'm taking the North Sea Kraken The reason is because like we didn't take, say we'd taken like that 7/7 already, then we'd be like, oh, I don't know, we're like picking up all these big things. But this is almost a guaranteed 2-for-1. When it comes out, the full damage is probably going to kill something, and then it's probably minimum going to take another card with it, and it's probably going to be a good card.
Yeah.
And you might end up 3-for-1ing with it. The way it goes, and it's also possible finisher damage and everything like that. You don't have to worry about things like BGH. It's got a lot of health. It's not, like a 9/5 and deal 4 damage. 7's a lot to deal with. It's out of fireball and everything like that. If this takes fireball ping plus you killed something with a 4 damage, you've done fairly well with it.
Yeah. Okay.
Was it close though? Like you consider it quite a close. It's just the fact that we didn't have the 7.
If we had a lot of big mana cards, I probably wouldn't have taken it. But the fact that we don't, I will quite happily take the North Sea Kraken. If we already had too many 7, 8, 9 drops, then you can't take another one. But I'm quite happy to see that as my first one. So, Little Exorcist, Murloc Tiger.
Unstable Portal.
Because it's the name of the show.
One, because it's the name of the show. Two, who doesn't love a little quick prayer to RNGesus?
Yeah, and also these other 2 cards aren't that great. The Little Exorcist is fine if you know the opponent's going to have a Death Rattle minion, but that's not that likely. Or not even not that likely, but I wouldn't be counting on it. If it got a 3/4 taunt, fine, but I don't want a 2/3 for 3 when I could have the best card in the game for 2 mana.
You could have the box. What's in the box,
exactly.
Ryan? What's in the box?
It could be anything.
So here we go. Polymorph, Mana Worm, and Raging Worgen. Ow.
Mana Worm. Sorry.
So Mana Worm is a good 1-drop for the mage, possibly one of their best. But Sheep is just like insanely good removal. We don't have any other removal at the minute, although it is quite early. So
yeah.
But I would say Polymorph.
Kieran?
Sheep.
Al makes 2 very good points. It depends what we're... Polymorph is probably the best removal nearly in the game, like silencing, and for 6 mana you can just ping it off and completely
and the fact with that is with mage, you can use it to remove something essentially for 4 mana, and when you have 6 mana you actually do just remove it because you can always ping it off.
Yeah, so Polymorph is a ridiculously strong card, but we don't have any 1-drops yet. I'm really torn.
I wouldn't get hung up on 1-drops. Mana Worm is the best 1-drop you could probably get as a mage. And Raging Worgen, just like we were ignoring it because the other cards are good, but Raging Worgen's a perfectly fine card. But
yeah, I think we're only ignoring it because the other 2
better.
are so strong and so good in our situations. I'd probably lean towards ours.
Yeah, I think like Mana Worm's fine, but if it was up against probably Raging Worgen, I'd probably still take the Mana Worm. Also, you have to look at that we only have 2 spells at the minute, and you have no guarantee that we're going to get a load of spells that actually synergize with this beyond the 1/3. But Polymorph goes through everything. Okay, so these are some interesting cards.
So you go first this time, Kieran, sorry.
Yeah. I like Dalaran Aspirant, but I like Dalaran Aspirant because I ran him in one of my Malagos Mage decks. I'm not sure how I feel about him in Arena, because we don't have any spells that synergize with him currently. Pinging or using your hero power, Specialist Mage, it's not brilliant. I mean, no, yeah, it could be really handy, but it's not as strong. It is basically a bit of a loss of tempo most of the time. So I'd kind of overlook the Dalaran Aspirant, even though it's not too bad. Clockwork Knight, 5 for 5.
That's
terrible.
fine, yeah.
We don't have any other mechs, so we can't get any +1. But we did just skip over a Mana Worm that I really, really liked, and there's one there. So
I'll take the Mana Worm if you want to. I don't think the Clockwork Knight. I think it's also very 5 for 5. If you do have another mech and everything, that's all just gravy. But 5 for 5 is perfectly reasonable. I would also say that I don't even like Dalaran Aspirant in Kieran's deck that he actually plays, so I don't think I like it even less here where it has no synergy.
Oh yeah, you want me to play Nexus
I would
Champion
do the Martin well, slam that bad boy down and go on to the next one. I would have picked the runner worm straight away.
Okay, oh, here's some interesting ones. I'm a warhorse. Get the charge if we win the joust. Violet Teacher makes some 1/1s with a spell. Secret Keeper, pretty gash.
Okay, yeah. So we can ignore the secret keeper, but Al, yeah,
You know what? Now I'm just thinking to myself, why didn't we get those ice barriers? We would have the combo sitting here ready to go. Yeah,
that great one dropping into that.
For just 7 mana, where I can't play 2 of the cards at the same time, I could gain 16 health and have a 2/4 for 7 mana. Wow, that would be insane.
Well, all we need to do is stay alive till we get our Narsea Kraken out, Martin. That's all we need to do.
So, Al, what ones are you thinking here?
Secret Keeper, nah, it's not gonna. Maybe it could work in like Paladin decks, but not in an arena where you can't guarantee you're gonna get a lot of secrets anyway. And Mage Secret's 3 mana, not worth it. Violet Teacher 3/5/4 seems pretty decent to me. We have a few spells, we could get some extra value out of it. Armored Warhorse, just not enough health, and the charge effect isn't guaranteed.
Yeah.
So it's a bit.
I think you have to take the Violet Teacher.
I would go with the Violet Teacher.
We're going to get some spells. We will have some spells. If we get a Frostbolt or a Fireball, we're going to pick it up. This is a 5/3, which may have charge, and if it does have charge, what we're going to hit face, or we're going to trade with anything. It's just guaranteed to trade. And if we don't get the charge, it's going to trade with their 2-drop, which is. It could trade with their 4/5 drop if we win the joust, or it could trade with their 2-drop. Whereas Violet Teacher, 3/5, make some 1/1s, all good. Oh, no, this one's actually really interesting. So, Kieran.
Yeah, this one is tough.
I still think it comes down to Iron Beak Owl or Flame Cannon.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I really like. I can't even say that word. The Raider.
Cavalier. Sorry.
Yeah,
it's the accent. You got to get the accent.
He really likes raiding, and he's a really good card. Really big threat, massive threat. I mean, you drop him on turn 7 and purposely ping. There you go. You got a 6/6 for. Well, again, actually, you got a 6/6 there for 7 mana. That's not actually great.
No, but what it is the next turn, if they don't remove it, then got an extra 2/2 health to put on it for 2 mana. So it's the threat that you have to deal with.
Yeah, you have to do it now.
Silence it or kill it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it can win you the game. It's not just the stats you're getting, but the threat you are getting if it's not dealt with.
Yeah, but I still like compared to the silence, which is always really good in the Iron Beak Owl, and Flame Cannon. I really like Flame Cannon for a number of reasons. Like it's 4 damage for 2, which is quite a lot, even though you can't control where it goes. But because you can't control where it goes, you can hit stealthed minions. And flame cannoning someone's
Strengthorn Tiger.
A few good stuff. Stranglethorn Tiger, but then again, it's not great because unless you've got a Dalaran Aspirant and you've done some pinging, put it up to 5. But Shade of Nax is the one I love flame cannoning in my mage deck.
See, the thing is though, I'll be more worried about the. Like, I don't think I'll take the owl this early. I do want a silence, but like these 2 other cards are, I think, stronger. Like Cavalier Raider does have the fact that it has to be dealt with. Like I like having a threat for 5 mana that has to be dealt with now. I mean, like if you don't deal with it, then it's probably going to win me the game or 2 for 1 you. Flame Cannon is very good, and like we have no removal, which is kind of why I'm thinking more about that. Otherwise, I think I would have just taken a Raider.
I personally think Flame Cannon, because for 2 mana, dealing 4 damage, you're killing 3 and 4 drops, aren't you? For 2 mana, plus then you're playing another, like you can play another like 2-drop, or you can play a 3-drop or things like that.
But the thing is, the later it goes,
really,
and the more minions they have, that may be rubbish minions. The problem is like, you're gonna make like I'll go with the group consensus. I want the Raider, but like I'll take the Flame Cannon if we're going with that as the
I would lean towards
Okay,
Fairy Cannon as well.
I would lean towards. I know what you mean. The Raider's really good. It's a really and Iron Beak Owl's really good as well.
I'll take the flame cannon.
But I think Flame Cannon has the edge because the tempo swing it gives is.
I'm taking flame cannon, but I'm pointing out this is under duress.
Would you like it noted? In the
I'd like it
record?
noted in the record that that wasn't my choice.
Oh! I think this choice gave me AIDS. Can we just take the arcade missiles and move on?
Okay. I told you we should have taken the Raider. You see this? This is what happens. So we have another flame cannon. We also have the 2 things that can't be targeted by spells: the 2-drop and the 5-drop. Ow.
You know what they can be targeted by though?
No,
flame cannon.
they can be hit
Yeah,
by. They can't
that's
be
true.
targeted by.
They can hit by. Sorry,
Please.
good point.
Correct language.
Spectral Knight's not that great. 4/6.
Shut the front door. What are you on about?
Worst card in the world.
I will take a 4/6 that can't be
I don't
targeted.
know.
But yeah, Fairy Dragon.
No, I think the Fairy Dragon 3/2 can't be targeted. You can't get pinged or. I really don't know. I don't know. Is a second flame cannon?
No. I don't want 2
think
things
it
I
is.
can't.
I think the
2
Fairy
random
Dragon-
things is like too much. Like I want a fireball and a frostbolt, and if I've taken another flame cannon and then I go fireball, frostbolt, I'm like, wow, we're really heavy on these spells. We want another 2-drop. All we've really got at the minute is a Micro Machine and the Sorcerer's Apprentice, and okay, we've got a Mana Worm, which is kind of a pseudo 2-drop, I suppose, but this can't be sort of pinged off and everything like you say, and having is a decent 2-drop. Having 2 drops is the way to go. Having an early game, having something you can put out there. So this for me is fairly easy, I think. But what do you think, Kieran?
I'd go for the best body there is in that selection and the Kirin Tor Mage, but maybe.
Would you say Al?
Yeah, counter spell's not that great a secret. I would go with the Kirin Tor Mage just for the better stats. The upsides aren't really gonna make it. We haven't got any secrets yet. We might get one. This 1 spell damage and a mech doesn't really.
1
matter.
spell damage when all we've got at the minute is a flame cannon and arcane missiles isn't that important. I'd just rather have the extra stats. So, Kistan Jouster, Met Warper, Dread Corsair. Possibly a 2/3 for 1, a guaranteed 2/3 for 2. We haven't got any mechs, and a guaranteed 3/3 for 4 because they haven't put 1s in the game yet, so we can't 1 our opponent down.
I would say the Jouster. We're not really bothered about the mech synergy, and the Gadgetson Jouster. If you get the 2/3 for 1 is really good, and just having maybe a 1-drop or 1/2 is
What do you
okay.
say, Kieran?
I'd agree with him. I like they got a North Sea Kraken in there. That's a good for a joust.
I'm going to disagree with both of you and pick the Wet Warper, and I'm not going to. I've got control of the mouse, and but I'll give you some very solid reasons that I think may actually change your mind.
All right, that's fine, Martin. Like you went with us in the other one, but I'd like you know.
The reason I say is like you go, yeah, that's a 1 mana for a 2/3. That's great. That's only relevant. You have to have it on turn 1. If you don't have this in your opening 3 cards, you're 1 in 10 to get it. That's not relevant massively. The 1 mana could matter, but it's probably not going to matter. And I'd rather have for 1 mana more, which I can pick up later in the game, a guaranteed 2/3 than a possible 1/2, because a 2/3 is infinitely better than a 1/2. So if I pick this up late in the game, it's like it doesn't matter. Once you get past about turn 4, it doesn't really matter so much. And I'd rather make sure I had a 2/3, a decent body on the board.
Fair enough. Is
Okay.
the 2/3 only infinitely better than a 1/2 because it's a whisper better?
I don't know why. Yeah, exactly.
So, come on, keep up the meme. Keep up the meme. Come on, infinite value, man. This mech war.
I don't even know if two ones like worse as well. Okay, right. Here's another interesting one. Arcane Intellect, Nerubian, and the Loot Hoarder. Ow. Break it down. Break down.
Don't want. another arcane intellect. I would say we've already got one. Having to would probably be a bit overkill. If we got both of them, it would be really bad for us. Nerubian Weblord, Millions of Battle Cry, 2 mana for a 1/4. Yeah, it's okay, but the upside can also go against us. I would just say that the loot order is the best one. 2/1, get another card. Is might trade into another 2-drop, and that's about as better as we can expect from these 3 cards. I think.
You agree, Kieran?
I agree. Out of those 3, I'd go.
Yeah, I'd take the minion. Okay, raid leader, king of rank 20, Stormpike Commando, our Hungry Dragon.
I like the Hungry Dragon. It's a decent body. Most of the 1-drops don't screw you up too much. I know there are a few out there that
and you can ping off a lot of them if you actually play it on turn 6.
Yeah. Stormpike Commando's just terrible.
Actually, Stormpike Commando, you'd be surprised. Like having that 2 damage come down and possibly just snipe something off the board. Like their only minion, say, has gone down to 2 health, you snipe it off and you've got 4/2. It's got enough attack power to be good, but in a lot of situations it's not. It's a lot better in Arena. You couldn't play it constructed, but...
Yeah, I was going to say, a lot of the times when you're playing stuff, especially against your mage, it's like, well, I'll trade that and I'll trade it in like this because then I'll have 2 health. And they don't expect the fact that you can just be pinged off by the storm.
Like, say they have
some things that you can't play.
Say they have a 4/4 and a 3/2, like a 2-drop and a 4-drop. You play this down on your turn 5 after they played their 4-drop. You ping off their 2-drop, and then you've got something that they have to trade in, not very efficiently necessarily, and you've gone 2 for 1. But I would take the Hungry Dragon because I do like the Hungry Dragon, and it's 5/6.
Yeah.
And
I was.
Go on.
As much as I was picking up the Stormpike Commando, I was thinking the Hungry Dragon is still the best.
So here we've got the Ice Lance, which we don't need to talk about. It's fairly redundant. We have no freeze, and it's not very good without it, or even with it without a constructed deck. We've got Dragon's Breath with Sin and Dragon Sorcerer, which in this deck is essentially going to be a 4-mana 3/5 because we're not going to buff it.
I'll take the Dragonkin Sorcerer just because the other 2 aren't. We've got enough spell removal, I think, or we don't want to be overkill. We want to pick fireballs and things like that if we get them, and just get the body.
Yep, agreed.
Arcane Explosion, Kieran's favourite one. Gurashi Berserker and Jungle Panther. There's that stealth minion that you were talking about Flame Cannon for.
Yeah, Jungle Panther I like. I really like 4/2 3-drop. You can keep it stealth to trade up, so because it's got a nice amount of attack on it. I'd be picking Jungle Panther every day.
What about you, Al?
I think Jungle Panther's a good pick, but I'm not sure about Gurabashi Berserker. Is it good with a mage? With you can ping it the next turn.
See, like you can be
suddenly it's a 4/6.
You can be the casting vote because, while I think Kieran's right, Jungle Panther is actually a lot better than it looks because it will trade up almost all the time. The fact that you are a mage, or we are a mage, makes Gurabashi Berserker a lot better because we can have it down next turn, ping it, and it will hit into something with 5 health. It can knock out a 3/5 or a 4/5 and still be alive with a ping from us. So what are you going with? I'll let you decide, Al. Berserker, Panther?
I'll go with the Berserker.
Also, we're not too top heavy. Ooh, we've got some awful. This is.
But I do like Spellbender because no one plays around it. It's just one of those things, and also, which you might, I don't know if Al knows, if someone tries to buff their own minion, Spellbender will steal the buff and give it to you. So if you're playing against Paladin and they try and Kings one of their guys and you've got Spellbender, you have a 5/7 for your next turn, which is amazing.
I'll tell you what, actually, you're making me think that spell. I was kind of.
I'd say because the other 2 are kind of like Molten Giants. The only one I would like echoing ooze. We've not got anything to buff stuff. And even if we did, it probably wouldn't be that great.
Giant, you want some synergy, and we haven't got any taunts yet. So if we're down to 10 health and we're dropping this for free, then we're probably in trouble. I don't know, we might be wrong. Maybe this would be better. You get to 15 health, play that, you could stabilise the game. But I want to see what happens with Spellbender. Kieran has sold me.
Yeah, I'll quite... Yeah. He sold us, and if he's sold us a straight round there.
So here we go. 2 Inspire cards and the 2/5 charge. Al.
Silverhand Regent. I would say it's great value. You get to ping summon off, and you get a 1/1 and a 3/3. I would say it's 2/5 will charge. Like, what are you going to charge into with a 2/5?
I mean, it can have value, but yes, I'd much
but it's
rather
not
the Regent.
great value, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. The Dragonhawk, you inspire it and it goes face and trades.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe, so you get 3 damage. So it's
exactly. This is filling up our board, which is a lot better. Engineer, Shredder, Taunt Warrior.
Shredder.
Yeah, that's fairly easy. How about having the most overpowered 4-drop in the game? Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Oh, this is interesting. Fallen Hero, Go Open Last Mage, Arcane Nullifier. I actually think this is fairly easy as well. But what do you think, Kieran?
Ooh, okay, we don't have any.
No, we've got 2 mechs. We have 2 mechs.
Blast.
We have Micro Machine and Met Warper.
No,
But yeah,
okay.
not enough to make it.
3. We have 5.
Oh, and Pilot Shredder.
Micro Machine.
I still don't think 3 is not enough to make it reliably.
No, not reliable. It's an alright body, but I mean, the Battlecry really makes it. Fallen Hero, extra damage to the pings, really nice, can be really useful. I like the Arcane Nullifier, forcing minions to do.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the problem it has is if that was a 3/5 for 4 with that, then that would be pretty good because you're talking about Ascension Shieldmaster, which is already a good card, but they can't just use a spell to get it off. But 2 attack only deals with 2 drops; it only kills them off. Otherwise, they're going to probably get some fairly efficient trades in to get rid of it. Like Fallen Hero, I found Fallen Hero to be a surprisingly good card even in constructed decks. It's like maybe putting 1 or 2 in. And later on in the game, like when you're top decking, it's not completely dead. It's a 2-drop earlier on, which you want, and later on in the game, you can have that Boulder Fist Ogre on 2 health, and you can play this and get rid of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the point I was just about to make. It's a good 2-drop, and it's still got its good upside late game, which is pretty decent.
Okay, so we're taking tournament attending. We're moving on, aren't we?
Whoa! Kind of cold.
Okay, so we'll just take Fireball and not explain why. Actually, this one's interesting because we've got Ice Barrier again. Like they're really trying to force it down our throat ever since we got the Kirin Tor Mage. But Mukla and Yeti.
Well, that is tough, isn't it?
I don't think we can say we're going to have a reliable board. We've got many ways of spawning a lot of either tokens or minions to make Mukla's champion. Yeah, it can be a lot of fun, but just not really in this arena deck. Like maybe if we had a Warlock and we had some implosions and we had a few bits and pieces like that, Mukla's might be worth it. But so for me,
I would say that we have a low curve.
I'm going to go the opposite. I'm saying Mukla's because we don't have that many 5-drops.
This is a 7-drop out. I just want to point this out. This is a 7-drop.
Yeah. Alright, fair enough. We have things like questing. What's the thing we picked? The Silverhand Regent, so we can spawn tokens for that. Spellbender, Violet Teacher. So I think we can have a board presence, and this is the kind of one that can win you games if you got it down. If you can get it down with a few minions there, you can get really good value out of it.
I tell you what we really do need is some good 5, 6, 7s. That's kind of what we're missing now. We've got this early bit locked up. We really want some good. Kind of wishing we had that War Golem back again. But I'm going to take my casting vote and I'm going to go with the Yeti though because it's just a more reliable minion. This could run away with it, but if we top deck this, put this down, it's not good enough. I want the Yeti. Okay, so another easy Stone Tusk Ball.
Yeah, Stone Tusk Ball.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, ball all the way, man. We'll charge.
We've got 2 max picks, and then we've got the Flame Strike. So, sorry, Max, for taking the Flame Strike. Clockwork No, Mirror Image, and Priestess of Loon. We've got some. This is a pretty awful one. We're not taking the Mirror Image. I say it now. We're not taking the Mirror Image. It does nothing. So Clockwork Gnome, Priestess of Loon.
You were looking for those good 6 drops.
Yeah, and I'm still looking.
Yeah.
Well, Clockwork Gnome. We've only got 2 1-drops, and one of them's a spell. So, yeah, Clockwork Gnome.
I would say Priestess of Elude, just because we don't think we need a 1-drop any more
Yeah.
1-drops. We've got like a couple. We don't want too many 1-drops in our deck, and we just it's not a good.
And
body.
also, like, this gets played a lot in constructed decks, but that's more when you got Archmage Antonidas, so it actually the spell part will come in handy later. There's too many times, especially the popular class in Arena, that can just ping this off for nothing. So even though I'm going to go with the Priestess Loon as the casting one. Okay, Flame Lance, kill anything as long as it doesn't have the Divine Shield. Sorcerer Apprentice, Shattered Sun Cleric.
I really like Shattered Sun Cleric.
Do you know why? Because it's fucking good.
I don't think you should underestimate Flame Lance, but I think Shattered Sun Cleric is just that.
If we hadn't got a Fireball, we have a Fireball, and we have got a Flame Strike. We picked up a couple of things to remove all that we need. So, otherwise I might have actually taken the Flame Lance because we just don't have enough to actually clear off their big minions. But Shattered Sun Cleric can give you such big tempo play by putting it on something which then lets it trade and live, and you've still got a 3/2 for 3, which isn't great, but there's normally not a lot of things, especially as mage, that like 2/1s don't normally come into the equation because you can ping them off. So having the 2 health over 3 health often doesn't matter because it's going to still trade with a 3-drop. And you've made something else a lot more durable. And we're kind of missing on the 3-drop more than we are on the 2-drop.
Yeah, go with the Shattered Sun Cleric. I think less. I just don't think you should underestimate Flame Lance.
Okay, well, considering what I said earlier, this one should be easy. Like in 2 words, Al.
Boulder Fist.
2 words.
Boulder Fist.
Apparently,
apparently, if you read this,
no, it's 2 words. The way I say it, it's Boulder.
I've got a really dirty joke that I can't do on a PG stream. So, in 2 words, Kieran, what are you going for?
Boulder Fist Ogre.
Give yourself a little star because you used 2 words. Okay, Punch Sun Summoner, the Arcane Nullifier we saw before, and the Bomb Lobber. This is our last pick.
Lobber.
Yeah.
Lobber.
It's kind of pseudo removal almost that we kind of picked up on some, but the other 2 just don't do enough. So we've got get the 4 damage, might be able to remove something. It's very good in the arena.
It's Flame Cannon for 3 more mana plus a 3/3.
Yeah.
So give me your predictions, both of you. Al first. How good do you think this arena deck is in terms of how many wins do you think we could get with this?
I have not got a Scooby-Doo. Although I'm getting a lot better at knowing the cards, like you said at the beginning, I have done 1.5 arena runs. I have no idea how good the deck is.
I reckon this could get... I'm going to go with 5 or 6. What do you reckon, Kieran? Are you just going to...
I was gonna push it to 7. I think we've got some decent value in there. We've got the Boulder Fist, we've got the Stranglethorn Tiger, we've got Violet Teacher, Piloted Shredder, Mechanical Yeti, Hungry Dragon. They're all really, really strong.
I'll tell you 2 cards that I wish we had. I wish we could get rid of, say, the Priestess of Loon and turn it into an actually good 6 or 7 drop. And I wish that we could remove something else somewhere and get a Frostbolt for just a little bit of extra early remove. I'd even get rid of the Unstable Portal. But like we curve really well. You want 2, 3, 4 drops. And then you want... And our 4 drops are good. We've got Yeti, we've got Shredder, we've got Violet Teacher. They're all good 4 drops. We're kind of missing on the end game. Like, Kraken's obviously very good, and we do have Flame Strike to reset the game. But that's... Priestess is a bad 6 drop. Boulder Fist is good. Shankles Tiger's fine. Gurubashi is like fine if you get a bit of work out of it. Bomb Lobber isn't even one. So all we've really got is Kraken and Boulder Fist and Stranglethorn. So essentially, which we can do if we want to just curve out really well, which we should curve out really well and really efficiently. And we've got the cards to do that. We've even got some cards that can run away with the game. Things like Micro Machine, things like Quest and Adventurer can actually just run away with the game. So I reckon we could get to like 5 or 6. We could push 7. I don't think we could actually get too much better than that. But yeah.
No, I think once you get past like the 7, the decks that will be there will maybe just.
We don't have
be
enough
stronger than
removal.
ours.
We didn't. It's not like we didn't even
Yeah.
take it. We didn't take a flame cannon, but that's about it, and that's not even the best.
Yeah.
Like we took a fireball, we took a flame strike, and that's what we got. So we're gonna go play these games now. So come join us, and when we play those games.